I'm not sure when to handle legal matters in-house versus hiring outside counsel. How do I make those decisions strategically without overpaying or leaving risks unaddressed?
Okay. All right. So this person wants to know how to handle legal matters and specifically when to handle them in-house versus hiring outside counsel. They want to make these decisions strategically without overpaying for legal and without making sure that risks are unaddressed. So I want to shift the conversation a little bit because a lot of times people talk about overpaying for legal, and the biggest question I have is what does that even mean, right? Sometimes people say, well, I don't want to pay for things that I don't need or won't use. And this happens every day, right? We pay for things that we don't need or won't use every single day. If you have access to a subscription for anything on the television, whether it's cable or maybe it's like Hulu or Apple TV or Prime, then you are paying for things that you don't use because you're not running your TV all day long on every single program to get the maximum usage for the thing that you're paying for, right? So the point is really, what do you want from the whatever it is that you're asking for? And I promise you, you could probably go deeper, 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 deeper than your first answer. So this is more of an iterative process. I have a post that had a lot of attention on LinkedIn where I said, no one cares about the NDA. I think that was how it was started. And the reality is, even when people ask for an NDA, they don't care about the NDA. They don't really want the NDA. They want the thing that they think the NDA is going to give them. That's what they want, right? And so you want to start thinking about what is it that you truly want when you reach out to an attorney, not that deliverable that they're going to give you or that advice. What will it do for you, for your business? And that becomes a much more expansive conversation around the value of what you are getting. And when you have that answer concerning the value of what you are getting, it becomes a lot clearer for you what your expectations are and what it is worth to you. When you have more clarity around what is it you're actually looking for beyond the NDA and the value it brings to your business, then your understanding of what you're risking and what you're paying for shifts. It shifts a whole lot and it makes your possibilities and your opportunities so much bigger. It expands them because something that you may have previously thought, well, I don't know if I want to pay X for that NDA, becomes much bigger. You see more the value of what you expect to get. Your standards for what you're getting are probably going to increase. That will help better identify who you want to work with, right? Because then you'll know how you want that person to show up for you, and that will align with the value. So, so let's see. How do you decide if you're going to use outside counsel or handle it in-house? I think your best your best way of doing that is if you have counsel to consult with that will help you, someone who knows your business, right? Someone who knows your business. And this doesn't mean that you're actually keeping someone on retainer all the time. Maybe you just have a series of consultations that you sign up for an attorney with, right? Or and then you just do the series of consultations to help guide you on completing work in-house, and they will flag when you really, really need to go outside of your in-house work. So that could be one way of dealing with it, is getting some insight from a professional. And the setup going in would be that uh, you are expecting that this person will help guide you on how to complete things responsibly in-house and will flag when it is just critical for you to use outside resources. That way, when you do the consultation, they know from the beginning that this is not designed to be a consultation to pitch you on more work with that particular law firm, but instead is intended to be purely advisory, right? on how you can complete things in-house. But the main thing I would say is if you wanted to create a list for yourself of when do I go in-house, when do I go external. If it's something new or novel, go external. Make sure you're getting proper support for it. And that doesn't necessarily mean you go external for all of it, but at least initially you want to have conversations externally. If it is something involving a lot of risk to the business, you want to go external for no other reason than to have an outside ear. If there's a lot of risk for the business, you don't want to be in groupthink around that issue that has created the risk. You want to make sure you're getting an outside perspective, even if they're not completing all of the work, right? That advisory component can be so helpful for you. And if you are out of bandwidth, but time is an important factor, if you just don't have the time internally, then thinking you'll somehow magically get to it, by the time you get to it, I promise you, you could have given it external. And what happens is you end up in this loop where you keep thinking you'll get to it. So much time passes. Now you feel like you don't have the time to give it to someone external. And so you just keep holding on to it. If you are facing any sort of time constraint, and if time moves the needle at all on what you plan to do, then you really want to at least go external for those preliminary conversations and then just try to give it to them. Because usually people lose value with legal work. I wouldn't say usually, but often they lose value with legal work because it doesn't happen fast enough for their needs. And that could be because you're holding on to it internally, or you're getting it slow from your external provider. But if you're holding on to it, then you have total control around that by releasing it and getting some help and being fully supported in your business the way you deserve to be.